Oh, yeah. Is it Thursday? Nope, Tuesday. Is it Tuesday? It's Tuesday. Is it Tuesday already? Oh, what a great start to this live stream already. Jedi 3. Is it coming out this year? Will we see Cal Kestis back on screen, either on a video game screen or a, I guess, TV screen, movie theater screen? Will Cal Kestis be involved in our 2026 content from Star Wars? We'll put it that way. We also got to talk about some Ahsoka Season 2 leaks. We got a nice look at what could be our new logo for Ahsoka Season 2. And Tom Hardy wants to come to Star Wars. We got our first look at Maul Shadow Lord, or a new look. I guess we've seen some looks before. And we got to talk about Rian Johnson coming back to Star Wars. We got a lot of fun things to get into today and not a lot of time. So without further ado, let's dive into all of it. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing on this fine Tuesday afternoon? Yeah, we got a fun one today, talking Cal Kestis in Jedi 3, because this new report has come out, this rumor, if you will, that has said that Jedi 3 might come out this year in 2026. And at first, I was like, that sounds absolutely insane. And then I thought about it, and we did some math, and we'll talk about it today. And it's actually a possibility that we could be getting the third installment of the Jedi games this year. That's a little crazy, but we'll talk about it, what the likelihood of that happening is, and of course, all the other great news we got to get into. But before we dive into any of that, let's say hi to everybody in the chat, shall we? Let's start the stream the only way we know how. Holly, how we doing? Droopy McCool, of course, is always with us. Mr./X, how we doing? Dale Skywalker in the building. Brandon Baker, how we doing? Rachel, what is up? Darth Plagueis lives, how we doing? Robert in the building. Nathan, what is up? Steve, what is up? All right, if I missed you, you know the deal. Ian, how we doing? 730 Evie, what is up? Mando United, how we doing? All right, if I missed you, you know the deal. Just yell at me in the chat. Let's give everybody a nice little,
Hello there.
General Kenobi.
Okay, so I feel like we got to start with this Jedi stuff. It's sort of what's been going crazy the last couple days. Last week was just pure chaos. From Starfighter news to Ahsoka leaks to Kathleen Kennedy stepping down and Dave Filoni becoming the new co-president with Lin-Wyn Brennan. It was just pure chaos. We got updates on 12 different Star Wars movies. We talked about the 14 Star Wars movies that are in some phase of production over at Lucasfilm. It was chaos. But today, we're kickstarting off this week with some pretty great news, or at least what could be some pretty great news. So the trend continues. 2026 continues to be a year of just insanity when it comes to Star Wars, and we haven't even gotten any content yet. These are all just rumors and reports. Well, I guess not rumors, but some of them are facts. Either way, it has all just been news so far. No new content, at least not yet. Still waiting on that Maul trailer or a new Mando trailer, but that probably won't happen until the Super Bowl. However, we're talking about Cal Kestis. Now, I want to start this stream with a poll. Let's start it with the poll. All right, let me ask you guys. Do you think, there we go, Jedi 3 will release in 2026 this year? Yes or no? What do we think? Will it be released this year? Captain Vaughn, what's up? How we doing? Now, I know how this poll is going to go. The majority of you will say no. But let's see if we can change that. Let's see if we can't sway this vote. Let's find out. Okay, so this is coming from a report, or I guess a report, I suppose, from a podcast. Oh, what did I just do? I accidentally opened up a call-ins portion in the Discord. If you guys want to join that, then maybe we'll do some call-ins. This comes from a report from a YouTube channel. Whoops, hang on. Oh, what is happening? What is happening? What? Nope, stop the madness. kind of funny games. Kind of funny games where one of them has heard from industry insiders that the announcement for Jedi 3 will happen in May, and the game will be released in September of this year, of 2026. So at first, the first instinct is to go absolutely not. We haven't heard a peep about this game and how far along it's been or anything of that sort. We don't know anything about this third Jedi game. No plot, no nothing. Absolutely nothing. So if it was just to be released in 9 months from now, we'd be like, holy crap, that's insane. The other argument is that we already have 2 Star Wars video games coming out this year. Star Wars Zero Company, which is the turn-based tactic game, and what was just announced at the end of last year, Star Wars Galactic Racer, the multiplayer racing game, pod racing game for Star Wars. And both of those, I mean, they got me really hyped up. It's honestly just like...
This is where the fun begins.
So those 2 games, specifically Galactic Racer, have me really, really excited. So it would be pretty crazy if we were to get 3 major Star Wars video games in 1 year. So all of that made me initially go, absolutely not. We will not be seeing Cal Kestis in the third Jedi game this year. However, then I started doing some research, okay? Then I started looking at the facts. The facts. Now let's go back to some release dates, shall we? Jedi Fallen Order, the first game in this Jedi series, was released on November 15th, 2019. 6.5 years ago, give or take. 6 years ago, 6 years ago and 3 months. November 15th, 2019. Remember that date. Remember that date. Now, Jedi Fallen Order is an incredible game. I mean, right there, it has an 8.5 on IMDb and an 79 on Media Critic. It says 94% of people liked this game for Google users. Let's give it a thumbs up. Make that 95. Jedi Fallen Order is an incredible game. Some people argue it's better than Survivor. I like Survivor better personally. Just the combat and the stories are both great. I just kind of liked the Survivor one a little bit more with the connection back to the High Republic and that twist of spoiler alert, Bode at the end and him being the villain. I liked it a little bit better. Just a little bit better. I'll get to that super chat in 1 sec. So, Fallen Order comes out. I guess, yeah, you got the Vader stuff at the end, which is obviously great. November 15th, 2019. Fast forward to the release of Jedi Survivor. That was on April 28th of 2023. They had all of the Star Wars Celebration in 2023 sort of themed around the release of this game. It was this huge thing. I guess, you look at, it has a higher IMDb score, but Steam, it only has a 6.6 out of 10. I guess PlayStation gave it a 4.3 out of 5, which is very, very high. 91% of people liked it on Google. Let's, again, give that a nice little update. So, if we do some quick math, if we check our math, the first Jedi game came out in November of 2019. The second Jedi game came out in April of 2023. Exactly 3, or not exactly, but almost exactly 3 years and 5 months. 3 years being 2019 to 2022, and then 5 months later from November is November, December, January, February, March. Well, I guess you don't count November. December, January, February, March, April. 5 months. So 3 years in 5 months. And if you do some more simple math, 3 years and 5 months from April of 2023 brings you directly to May, June, July, August, September of 2026. It would be the exact same release schedule from the first game to the second game, from the second game to the third game. Coincidence? Now we're getting this report again from an industry insider that I don't know, I've never heard of before, I am not familiar with. So immediately the alarms go off in my head. This is fake, this is fake, this is fake. Then you think about the 2 video games we're getting this year. Why would they have a third big one to overshadow those other ones? It doesn't sound like a good idea. All of that sounds off the alarm of this is not real. Until it is the exact same release schedule as the time between the first and second game. And although we have not heard anything about this Jedi game, that was the exact same way it was with Jedi Survivor. Up until, I don't know, months and months before. But before that, we didn't hear a single thing about Jedi Survivor. We didn't know any plot. We didn't know nothing. We just got a teaser trailer, and then we got the hype as we built up months and months in advance. And that could be exactly what they do. With a trailer in May, an announcement for a release date in May, and then hype throughout the summer, because May is going to be May the 4th, I'm assuming is when it will drop. That'll be our big May the 4th surprise. And then come September, we are getting the 3rd installment of the Jedi games. It sounds crazy, but the math is mathing. So with that being said, do you think we'll be getting the 3rd installment of the Jedi games this year? Yes or no? And I still think even if we don't, we could be seeing Cal Kestis this year. But I'll get to that in one sec. And there's another reason why I think that game will come out this year, but we'll get to that in one second. You guys tell me. You guys tell me. Darth Plagueis, what's up? With a very generous $5 holla, that's extremely generous, says, what are the chances we actually see Cal Kestis this year? Oh, that's tough. Between the game itself, which could come out this year, and the shows, Ahsoka Season 2, I doubt he'll be in Maul's Shadow Lord, but you never know. And The Mandalorian and Grogu, which I don't think he's going to be in, but still. I'd say it's a 40% chance. 40%. I'm here to convince you that this game is coming out this year, but I'm still not very confident in that answer. So 40%. Yeah. I'm thinking 2027 for Jedi 3. That was my initial thought because it's the 50th anniversary of Star Wars. It's all this, celebration. We got Starfighter next year. It seems like the ideal spot to release Jedi 3. You already have 2 Star Wars games coming out this year. It would make sense. However, there is another. There's another reason that I think it could come out this year. And that just happens to be Ahsoka Season 2. We've been talking about the fact that Cal Kestis will likely come to live action. Cameron Monaghan, incredible actor. They used his face and his likeness to create the character of Cal Kestis. It seems highly likely that at some point in the somewhat near future, Cal Kestis will come over to live action, right? You guys think that's a possibility? Cal Kestis in live action, yes or no? Tell me in the chat. What if it's Ahsoka Season 2? And what if the 3rd game needs to come out before it? Think about this for a second. We don't have a release date for Ahsoka Season 2 yet. However, we've been assuming because it has a very similar trajectory and release pattern as Season 1, that it will come out at some point in the fall of this year. Season 1 ended filming in October of the year prior to its release, and then released in August of the following year. Last year, in October, Ahsoka Season 2 finished filming. I think Season 2 is going to be a lot bigger than Season 1, so it might take a little bit longer in post-production. So you're looking at a September or October or maybe even November release date. So if you're going to involve Cal Kestis in that storyline, if you're going to involve the guy whose girlfriend is a Nightsister, and you're going to have an entire battle for Dathomir and have Nightsisters involved in that battle, where you could easily bring in Cal Kestis and his girlfriend Merrin, then you'll have to have the 3rd installment of the video game come out first. In September, a month or two before the release of Ahsoka Season 2. So at first, what seemed like a dream, which seemed like alarms are going off, this can't possibly be true, now might actually have some oomph behind it. Might actually have some meat on the bone. Because not only did we do the math, and it's exactly 3 years and 5 months in between Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor. And it would be exactly 3 years and 5 months between Survivor and Jedi 3 if it comes out in September of this year. But now you have the opportunity to bring Cal Kestis into live action, involved in a story around Dathomir and around Nightsisters, which he's very, very involved with in the video games. And you can release his game before the release of Ahsoka Season 2, where he could possibly appear in live action. He needs to wear a poncho? Oh, absolutely. 100%. Yeah. Cal Kestis comes to live action and he's not wearing a poncho. We're in deep doo-doo this time, you know?
I got a bad feeling about this.
I will not be pleased. Wow, this poll is actually a lot closer than I thought. I thought you would all be like, no, Mike, that's impossible. Never going to happen. But 57 to 43 is a lot closer than I thought. I'll leave that poll up there for a little bit longer. And we'll see where it goes. Mike, if you are right, Ahsoka Season 2 won't be released until December 31st, the end of the year. I don't know. I really don't. I think Ahsoka will come out this year in 2026. Like that, I'm very confident about. Even Disney Plus put their 2026 release schedule, and Ahsoka was on it in 2026. So that makes me think Ahsoka Season 2 is coming out this year. How much time do you think they would need to give people to play through Jedi 3 before the next project involves Cal Kestis? As a Star Wars fan, see, I like to take my, objective opinion and subjective opinion and separate them. So as a Star Wars fan, as somebody who wants just greatness all the time, my ideal 2026 would end with, or I guess the back half of the year would be, in September we get Jedi 3. Cal Kestis goes on this incredible adventure, and however that game ends, it ends with Thrawn. It ends with Thrawn's return to Dathomir. So that game would take place probably 5 or 10 years after the events of Survivor, because there was a 5-year time jump in between Fallen Order and Survivor anyway. So there'd be another time jump. It would probably take place during the events of the original trilogy or after the events of the original trilogy, and it would end with Thrawn arriving on Dathomir. And it would end with Cal Kestis maybe going to find help, i.e. the Ghost Crew or the New Republic or whoever. And then that would lead directly into Ahsoka Season 2, which would come out in October or November, giving people 2 months to finish the game, to play through the game. 2 months is plenty of time. 2 months is plenty of time. If it has to be December, it has to be December. So be it. 3 months is plenty of time. So that's my fanboy dream. That's my Star Wars inner fanboy coming out. The realistic side of me says there's no way that Jedi Survivor or Jedi 3 comes out this year. They'll save it for 2027. Mike, you idiot. There's 2 other Star Wars video games coming out this year. It makes no sense to push it out that quickly. But even that side of my brain goes, but it is very strange that it's the exact same release schedule from Fallen Order to Survivor. 3 years in 5 months. So I don't know. I don't know which side of my brain to believe. I think it's a mix of both. I would be shocked. Absolutely shocked. If we got Jedi 3 this year. but the math is mathing. The math is mathing, and it would allow us to get Cal Kestis in live action. Let me put up a secondary poll here, because this poll is swaying more towards the no here. 60-40, actually. Let's put up a different poll. Slightly different. Do you think we will see Cal Kestis in 2026? Not will we get Jedi 3. Not will we get the third installment of the Jedi games. Will we just see the character of Cal Kestis in anything in 2026? Ahsoka Season 2, Mandalorian and Grogu, Maul Shadow Lord, the third installment of the Jedi game, anywhere. Will we see Cal Kestis at any point in 2026? And if you say yes, then where? Where would we see him? Cameron Monaghan is almost done filming a TV show where he is a young Harry Bushi. What? Okay. What size would Cal's poncho be? A large. Obviously. A large. Jason, what's up? Maybe a teaser trailer. Okay. Cal Kestis Tales of Alderaan? No. But Cal Kestis in a Tales series would be pretty cool. Imagine you get a Tales of the Survivors or Tales of the Jedi Season 2, and it follows two Jedi survivors who go down different paths. And those two characters would be Cal Kestis and Baylan Skoll. Because Baylan Skoll, as great as a character he is in Season 1, there are so many questions about his character, how he survived Order 66, how he knows that Anakin was Vader, and how he gets Shin Hati as an apprentice, all these different questions. How does that happen? I'd love a Tales of the Jedi about that. And then Cal Kestis. Right now, Cal Kestis is a fan favorite character. So many people love this guy. He's only ever existed in the video games. That's it. He hasn't come to live action yet. He's not in animation either. So, in order for people to experience the character of Cal Kestis, they have to play a video game. And that's it. So for as great a character as he is, he really does not have that much screen time. Well, didn't they plan on always doing a trilogy? Or were heavily focused on getting to the end of Cal's story, right? Which means they will take more time. Just because they were planning for it to be a trilogy doesn't mean it will take more time. Actually, it'd be the contrary. If they were always planning to have a third game, then they would have already been working on the third game as the second game was coming to a close. You know? Let's put it this way. Jedi Survivor ended in a pretty ending-like way. That could have been the end of Cal's story. He beats the bad guy. He gets a new apprentice. He's got the happy ending with Merrin. It's pretty much an ending. And yet we're getting a third game. So this third story must be pretty damn important. And I think it must connect Cal specifically to a different story, to something that's already happening in live action. And the connections are right in front of our stupid faces because of Dathomir, because of Thrawn, because of the Nightsisters, because of Peridia. All of this is right in front of our faces. Cal's girlfriend is literally a Nightsister, and in the first two games, an explorable planet is Dathomir. It's right there. It's already there. So this third game, I think, will probably tell a really cool story. I don't know who the villain's going to be. Maybe it's Vader, which would be insane, because Vader's in both games at some point. So maybe. But who else would be the villain? For the first game, it was Inquisitors, and then Vader at the end, but he doesn't really even fight Vader, because he can't. So it's Inquisitors. In the second game, it's Dagan, who's a High Republic Jedi who's been in cryosleep for like hundreds of years. And then it's Bode. But, so those are your villains. Who would be the villain of the third in game? Who would be that guy? Mother Talzin? Well, Mother Talzin's dead. At least, so we think. So who would be the villain of the third game, and what would even be the story? That's why I think it has to connect to what's happening right now in the Mandoverse. Not just to tie in Cal's story to what's already happening, but also to further the story that Thrawn is doing, further the Nightsister story. Because as cool as the Nightsisters are, the fact that there are other types of Force users in the galaxy, like there's other religions in the world, other people who wield the Force differently with the Nightsister magic, that's a really cool concept. However, if you're a normie fan and you haven't watched the Clone Wars and you haven't watched Ahsoka Season 1, or maybe you have watched Ahsoka Season 1 and you're like, who the hell are these Nightsisters? There's not a lot when it comes to those characters. So the Jedi games dive into it a little bit. Merrin gives us a little bit of a story there. We got a Tales of the Empire, which gives us Morgan Elsbeth in the massacre again from her perspective. But for a species of characters, the Nightsisters, for how important they're going to be in this next phase of the heir to the Empire, of Thrawn's plan, they're not really explored all that much. They're not at all. Maybe Grand Moff Tarkin's the villain. That would be really cool. The only problem with that, though, is that you can't really have a duel between Grand Moff Tarkin and Cal Kestis. Cal would like chop off his head or something. Here's the thing. You need a lightsaber wielding villain, because Cal's got to have some epic lightsaber duels throughout the game. That's what people are there for. So in the first game, it's lightsaber on lightsaber with Inquisitors. Second game, it's lightsaber on lightsaber with Dagon and Bode. So you need somebody with a lightsaber, and all the Inquisitors, or maybe not all of them, but most of them are dead. Cal kills some. Ahsoka kills some. Kanan kills some. A lot of them are dead. I'm actually not even sure. Are there any alive by the time of the prequel trilogy? I mean, the original trilogy? The only person with the lightsaber that I can think of would be Vader. Unless we're really crossing over here and the villain of the game is Baylan Skoll. That would be insane. Oh, that would be wild. Oh my God, imagine that. We get a full-on story of Cal Kestis versus Baylan Skoll. And now Cal Kestis is training this little girl, and Baylan Skoll is training a young Shin Hati? Okay.
This is where the fun begins.
That would be crazy. I'd be down for that. Mr. Sean, what's up? Says Cal Kestis could cameo in the Mando movie. I think the Mando movie is the least likely place for him this year. I do. And the reasoning for that is because I don't think Thrawn's going to be in that either. So the connection that we're talking about for Cal Kestis to Dathomir, Cal Kestis to the Nightsisters, because his girlfriend is one, that's not there for the Mandalorian. It's just not. So I would rather see him in Ahsoka Season 2. I would. And when we talk about the Ahsoka leaks later and how crazy they've been, this whole Peridia thing with these giant droid, robot, giant creature things, whatever, Abaloth, the Mortis gods, all that greatness. And then in the other galaxy, a war in our Star Wars. A all-out war. Grand Admiral Thrawn versus Admiral Akbar, New Republic versus Remnant of the Empire. Cal Kestis being thrown into that mix, it's going to be a lot. The question that continues to come up time and time again when we talk about Ahsoka Season 2 is how on earth are they going to get that done in 8 episodes? And if you throw in Cal Kestis into the mix, it gets even crazier. It gets way crazier. Mr. Green, what's up? How we doing? Okay. By the way, 60% of you said no. Jedi 3 will not release in 2026. 60% of you said no. It will not come out in 2026 this year. 65% of you said yes. Cal Kestis will be in something in 2026. So my question to you guys that have completely flipped the script on this poll, what's he going to be in? Where is Cal Kestis going to appear in 2026 if it's not Jedi 3? What do we think? What do we think? What about Cal Kestis in Ahsoka Season 2? If Cal is, then Cal is working with Hera Syndulla and Jason Syndulla and Ezra Bridger in the New Republic to ultimately take down Thrawn. That's the dream. I would certainly hope that. But here's the thing. If Cal Kestis is in Ahsoka Season 2, I didn't even think of Jason Syndulla or Ezra. Now these Jedi, I guess Ezra's like a Boken Jedi, but he's a Jedi nonetheless. These Jedi are meeting. Specifically Cal Kestis being a survivor of Order 66. How old was Cal when he survived Order 66? Do we know? How old was Cal Kestis? Because he and Kanan Jarrus must be very similar ages, no? Hang on, let's look it up. How old was Kanan when during Order 66? Kanan Jarrus was 14 during Order 66, so 14 years old. How old was Cal Kestis? Cal Kestis was 12 or 13. So they're within 1 or 2 years of each other in terms of age, at least. So Cal Kestis and Kanan, now granted, Kanan is no longer with us at this point, but his apprentices, Ezra Bridger is. Now, that would make Cal Kestis a lot older than Ezra by at least 12 years, because Ezra's born on Empire Day. He's born on the day Order 66 happened. So he would be at least 12 or 14 years older than Ezra. So let's see. How old is Cameron Monaghan? Cameron Monaghan is 32. That's young. That's too young. It's too young, but he could also play a little bit older. Because Cal would be what? You're talking 25 years, give or take, after Order 66? So he'd be 37. He only has to play 5 years older than his real age. That's nothing. Okay, so he could play 37 easy. He could play 37 with his eyes closed. That would mean that Ezra Bridger's only like 25. All right, that works. That works perfect. Cameron Monaghan can easily play 37. Just grow the beard. Look at it. This guy looks like he's 37, no? Without the beard, he looks extremely young. Like extremely, extremely young. Now, this might be a younger photo of him, but he looks very, very young in that. Okay. But here, I mean, he could pull off 37. Wearing a poncho, just kicking it. The big question is, when do you think Jedi 3 will take place? That is a big question. I mean, let me ask you guys, when do you think Jedi 3 will take place in the timeline? When I look back at the first two games, the first one takes place 5 years after the events of Order 66. So Cal Kestis is only what, like 18? Is that right? And then the second game is 5 years later. So 10 years after Order 66, right? So my guess would be original trilogy time period. At least that would be my hope. Because if we're talking at least another 5-year time jump, then we're still about 3 years before the originals. So do a 10-year time jump, put yourself right smack dab in the middle of the original trilogy, and you can show the events taking place from a different perspective. Imagine Cal Kestis hearing of the first Death Star exploding, or the second one even, hearing about the Empire's fall. You could use Cal to tell the downfall of the Empire after Return of the Jedi. There's tons of books and comics about this, the Battle of Jakku and all that great stuff. Battlefront 2, its campaign actually does this a little bit too. But I would love to see Cal Kestis' perspective on the downfall of the Empire. Because yes, the Emperor and Vader, they die on the same day, on the second Death Star, and it seems like the Empire is gone, but it's not. There's still thousands and thousands and thousands of stormtroopers and people who follow the Empire. It's not this quick, just light switch, flip on and off. There's this at least couple years after the fact. I guess the Battle of Jakku is more so the ending of the Empire than anything else. So to get to see Cal Kestis and his perspective on that would be awesome. Yeah. I'm assuming I'm not the only one who's hearing Mike but not seeing him. You can't see me? What? I think you got to refresh your page. On my end, we're looking good. On my end, my beautiful face is right smack dab in the middle of the screen. So I think that's on you. I think that's on your end. Okay. Cal Kestis at the Battle of Jakku would be cool, but probably have to be retconned. Yeah, true. Well, maybe he's not at that battle. I mean, he could be. But maybe he's not at the battle specifically, but he's hearing about it. Or he goes to Jakku right after the battle. So you get to see Jakku immediately after and all those ruins and everything that we see in The Force Awakens, but it looks slightly different because it just happened. Or, well, think about it this way. The planets that we visit in the first two games, other than Coruscant, are planets that aren't really explored at that time. You go to Dathomir, you go to, what's the main planet in the second one? Well, in the first one, you go to the Zepho planet, which I believe is just called Zepho. What are the other planets' names? Hang on. Planets in Jedi Survivor. Okay, let's see. Kobo. Kobo was the one I was thinking of. Kobo. Oh, you go to Jedi. I forgot about that too. Nova Garan and Tanalorr. So, of those planets, Jeddah and Coruscant are the only two that fans would recognize, that fans would know. So this third game might do a similar thing. You'll have some familiar planets like Dathomir, which is in both games. You'll have maybe Coruscant, but I doubt it, depending on when it takes place in the timeline, I suppose. But it will be a lot of planets that aren't explored during the events of that point in the timeline. For example, we don't know what's going on Kobo or Tanalorr during the original trilogy. We never visit it. None of our main characters ever go there. So as long as you're not on the planets of Tatooine, Yavin 4, unless he goes to the Yavin base, which would be even cooler, but Yavin 4, Bespin, Endor, Hoth. As long as you stay away from those main planets that we visit in the original trilogy, you can tell any story you want. Any of them. With Cal Kestis. And people are getting very sick of Tatooine. That's true too. Alderaan?
Incorrect.
No. He's not going to Alderaan. Okay. But my question to you guys then, as still 60 of you guys, 62% of you guys, say yes, you think Cal Kestis will show up this year. If he shows up in, I guess, anything else except for Jedi 3, that would mean that he comes to live action before the third installment of the game. I don't think that's how it's going to work. I think they would rather finish off his story before he comes to live action, just so that it doesn't ruin the ending of the game. Because if the game takes place before his live action appearance in the timeline, then that would, I mean, we assume he's not going to die, but still, it would give us too much information about what happens to him. Now, honestly, they could do it in a way that I suppose would make the game even more interesting. For example, he shows up without Merrin. He shows up and is speaking in riddles. He shows up and is talking about this crazy stuff that happened that we don't know about yet. And then the video game tells us that story. That would be pretty cool. Imagine Cal Kestis shows up and he's talking about the Nightsisters, and they're like, oh, how do you know so much about the Nightsisters? He's like, oh, I had a friend once. And you're like, what the hell happened to Merrin? Or, I guess a different example would be, he's not with Bode's daughter. He's not with the girl that he promised to protect. The third game would have to explain that pretty damn well. So you could, I guess, get away with giving us Cal Kestis in live action and giving us a ton of unanswered questions that you can go back and retroactively answer in the third game. I'd be okay with that. That would be really, really cool if they use him sort of as a teaser in a way towards his own third game. I'd be down for that. I'd be down for that. Okay. Mike, where are you at? Especially being in Chicago, I can't stand the snow. Yeah, snow is not the best. Yeah. I'm up in the Northeast, and we don't have that much snow, but it's just cold all the time. I can't get rid of this freaking stuffy nose I got. It's quite annoying. Quite annoying. It would be cool if Cal Kestis went to Mustafar and we could go through Vader's castle. That would be really cool. Sherman, I love that idea. Here's why specifically. We just got the Legacy of Vader comics with Kylo Ren, and he was at the Vader's castle. We've seen in the Vader comics quite a bit his castle, and in Kenobi, I suppose, too. Imagine Cal, or you as Cal, has to infiltrate Vader's castle for one reason or another. I don't know why that would be, but it would be so cool. It could end with a Vader battle, and maybe you... Mr. Krabs, I have an idea. Sorry, SpongeBob reference. Okay. What if... Hear me out for a second. Cal Kestis gets a limb chopped off.
This is where the fun begins.
It's always been a pretty big thing in Star Wars for main characters, to get their limbs chopped off. For example, Luke Skywalker in The Empire Strikes Back, Anakin Skywalker in Attack of the Clones, and in Revenge of the Sith. He gets a lot of limbs chopped off in that one. A lot. It's always been a thing. Limbs being chopped off in Star Wars. Imagine we get a lightsaber duel between Cal Kestis and Darth Vader. We know Darth Vader can't die, of course, in a lightsaber duel versus Cal. First of all, it wouldn't make sense. And second of all, it wouldn't make sense. And then, but we know Cal Kestis probably won't die either. I mean, he could. He could. Huge twist of events. We don't get Cal Kestis in live action at all because he's dead, which would suck. But in order to make there be stakes, in order to make it feel like a real battle that was necessary, Cal loses a limb. It can be a leg, it can be an arm, it could be a hand, it could be anything, but he loses a limb. How awesome would that be? Do you remember in the first game in Jedi Fallen Order when he has to go build his lightsaber? His lightsaber gets broken, and he has to go to Ilum and find a new kyber crystal, and that's when you customize your lightsaber, and it's this whole big part of the story. Is that in the first game or the second game? I think it's the first game. It's a whole big thing. You're like really injured, you crawl your way back, you go fix your lightsaber. It's this whole big part of the story. Imagine if you're at Vader's castle, you just fought the Dark Lord himself. He chopped off your arm, and now you're like bleeding out, and you have to find your way back to the ship and get off Mustafar, and then you have to go find like a medic of some sort. Like imagine how crazy that would be. Now, when it comes to Jedi 3, I really don't know how they're going to pull off the girl. Not Merrin. Merrin's already great. She was great in the second game. Seeing the Nightsister magic in action was awesome. But the little girl, Bode's daughter, what are they going to do with her? Like, they're just going to have her follow Cal around the entire time? It would be strange. I guess they could do it in a way where it's kind of like God of War. But I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But I think the girl will be very, very important. You have multiple apprentices that her name's Kata. Thank you. Kata. You have multiple apprentices that have just popped up all around of the timeline. For example, Cal Kestis getting this girl, Kata, to train in some way, shape, or form. And for Asajj Ventress last year, in Tales of the Underworld, she got this random child we've never met before. Again, don't know his name, or can't remember his name. And they just go off to go train and walk into the sunset. So there's just a couple just random, apprentices going around. Will Cal have the Force arm like Dagan did? I forgot about that, because Dagan only has one arm, and then they go into like this Force realm-looking fight scene thing. That fight scene is awesome. That is an underrated fight scene. I know people give Survivor crap because of the whole High Republic thing and whatever, but that is so good. Yeah. The girl will climb on his back like BD1. That would be awesome. That would be so awesome. What's going on with Sigourney Weaver? Oh, Sigourney Weaver? Is that what you wanted? That's random as hell. Fallen Order was better. It's like comparing to me, I suppose, it's like comparing The Empire Strikes Back and Revenge of the Sith. Both incredible movies, both masterpieces, both just great characters, great stories, great everything, great action. But the reason Survivor has the notch up for me, the reason it's just a little bit more, it's the graphics and the game mechanics. Yes, the stories are both really, really good. I love the twist in Survivor and all that. But the takedowns in Survivor, so good. All of the upgrade of it being a almost 4 year older, a younger game, and just the way that video games evolve, it's just more fun to play, personally. And it's more open world than the first game was. Yeah. But both great games. Both great games. Yeah, the Ventress one was deliberately set up for something. They didn't bring her back for nothing. Yeah. When you bring a character back from the dead, they must have a purpose. And Asajj Ventress was literally brought back from the dead. So that there needs to be a purpose for her character, absolutely. Yeah. I'm just starting Fallen Order for the first time.
I got a bad feeling about this.
you might not want to watch this stream. You might want to rewind the last 50 minutes of your life and erase your memory because we've kind of spoiled the whole damn thing. Yeah. I don't like everything going open world, but I think Survivor was a very good middle ground with the hubs and corridors. Yeah, it wasn't fully open world, but there was enough map that it felt like it, you know? And the best part about Jedi Survivor, and Fallen Order for that matter, is the lack of loading screens. When you go into hyperspace, of course, there's loading screens and all that, but when you're going from one place on the map to another, the way that they do a loading screen is just by Cal like squeezing through a little opening in the wall. It's genius. It just keeps you immersive. It keeps you immersed in the game. Could we see Ventress in Ahsoka Season 2? I'd love to say yes. I really, really would. But as we've mentioned today, how are we going to do that all in 8 episodes? How are we going to do Cal Kestis and Ventress and Thrawn in this battle and this war for our Star Wars and the whole other galaxy with Mortis gods and everything else? How would we accomplish all of that? I agree with you that Ventress has the exact same argument that Cal Kestis does for showing up. She's a Nightsister. She, of course, was there for the massacre. And she was kind of friends with Ahsoka Tano for a little bit. But Ahsoka's not in the main galaxy. That's all right. But either way, I would love both of them. But it's going to be very, very difficult to accomplish that with the lack of time that they have. 8 episodes to do all of that would be a lot. Okay, hang on. Stan the man with a very generous $5 holla, I appreciate that quite a bit, says, hey man, question. Have you seen any of these AI Star Wars videos on YouTube? They're insane. I have. I definitely have. I really can't wait for AI to get like it's almost like I don't know. It's tough. There are some great ones. Absolutely. There are some great ones. But to me, it's still just not there. It's just not there. Like, it doesn't feel real. Yeah. I do like a lot of them, though. Yeah, the voiceovers are bad, too. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I do a lot of stuff where I can change my voice into characters with the what ifs and everything, and I'm doing it again right now. And it does take a lot to do that, but the amount of takes that I have to do to create a line, just one specific line, that sounds like the character, it's like probably in the hundreds. So I'm sure that people don't want to just spend the time doing that over and over and over again to make the voice sound exact or close. So the voices don't sound particularly well. However, they're getting better. We'll put it that way. These AI movies are better than the prequel?
Incorrect.
Now that's crazy. But I appreciate the super chat. I really, really do. I really, really do. Yeah. Ventress was mentioned by name in the Anakin Holo training. That couldn't be by accident. I forgot about that. Jeez, it's time for an Ahsoka Season 1 rewatch, people. I forgot about that. I forgot that he actually mentioned Ventress. Yeah, I mean, you got to think about it, too. Dave Filoni's the guy making the show. He spent 8 years of his life, probably more, with these characters. Asajj, Rex, Ahsoka, Anakin. So when he makes his own live-action show, he gives us Ahsoka, in the Clone Wars, Rex, Anakin, and even mentions Ventress. So, yeah, maybe it's a little foreshadowing. I'd be down for it. I would 100% be down for her being in the second season. The only question would be, though, who the hell's her apprentice? Like, there's so many new characters being introduced in the timeline, like Kata, like Cal Kestis and Merrin, like Asajj Ventress and her new apprentice. How would they all fit into this story? it does work because those characters are not involved with the original trilogy story or involved with the sequel trilogy story. So they can exist in between these stories. But yeah, Omega is the biggest question mark of all. To me, Omega is by far the biggest question mark out there because she is the only person that we know of that is capable of transferring midichlorians from one being to another. She is the key, the absolute master key to all of this. To Project Necromancer, to Palpatine's plans, to everything. And she is nowhere to be found in Star Wars Rebels, in the Mandoverse. She is a ghost. Where is she? Where is she? Yeah, Omega for sure. Omega for sure. You didn't read my super chat? Did I not just read your super chat and then go on a tangent about it? Hey man, have you seen any of these AI videos on YouTube? They're insane. Yeah. What? Did I not just talk about that? I'm losing my mind. Does Omega meet Grogu? I want to know. I think we'll find out. I hope we'll find out. So many unfinished arcs and holes in the canon. True. But those unfinished arcs have all happened within the last 6 years, all on Disney Plus. So they've all happened under the reign of Dave Filoni. Now, granted, he was just named president last week, but over the last 3 years, he's been chief creative officer, and he's long been groomed for it, this role as president, and he's had his hands in everything, from animation to live action. Everything in the Mandoverse, I suppose. Stuff like The Acolyte, stuff like Andor, he probably wasn't as involved with, or Kenobi either. He's probably on set for a couple days, whatever, but the hands-on stuff for him is the animation side in the Mandoverse. Now it's going to be everything, but for the most part, it was probably just those things, and that's why those holes, cliffhangers, unfinished stories, whatever you want to call them, those have all been set up for a reason. Omega, Asajj Ventress and her apprentice, Cal Kestis and where he's at. Like, all of that has been set up for, Mount Tantus, Project Necromancer. All of that has been set up for a big payoff at some point in the next, I hope, 5 years. But we'll see. I'm going to Galaxy's Edge on Saturday. Nice. Yes, if you're in the Discord, send some pictures. Love me some Galaxy's Edge. The canon is juggling a lot of balls. Pause.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Yeah, okay. I just hoped that they had a plan when they threw them all up there. Oh, absolutely. That's the best part when you look back at least the last 6 years, is it looks like they have a plan. Yeah. Yeah. Droopy doesn't want me to go on a heist, Mike. Can you look into that right now? No. Short answer, no. I cannot look into that right now. The problem isn't Filoni. It's Disney signing off on projects. True. And that's the, I guess, brick wall we ran into with The Hunt for Ben Solo. But I don't think Disney's really that concerned with the animation side of things. I think they're probably like, okay, do whatever you want. Sure, why not? And that's why we're getting stuff like Tales, stuff like Maul, Shadow Lord. We got Rebels, we got Bad Batch, Clone Wars Season 7, all that. Yeah. Do you think the Nightsisters in coffins returning to Dathomir will be brought back to life the same way that Ventress did? Interesting. Do we know what killed those Peridia Nightsisters? Or are they in some sort of hibernation? All great questions. Let me go one by one. Will they be brought back to life like Asajj Ventress was? I certainly hope so. That would actually explain how Thrawn brings them all back to life. Because Asajj Ventress being brought back to life is clearly for a reason. Her story is going to be very, very important as we move down the timeline here. But when it comes to Asajj being brought back to life and how she was brought back to life, that's very important. That is very important because she wasn't resurrected like Palpatine was. She wasn't still alive like Maul was and just fed off of the anger and the dark side. She was actually given a choice to be brought back to life using Nightsister magic from Mother Talzin herself. So is that going to be the way that they bring all these Nightsisters back to life? That's possible. That's possible. To the second point you made, what killed all those Nightsisters on Peridia? I assume Abaloth. I assume whatever Baylan Skoll is searching for is what ended this kingdom. Because I believe in season 1, Baylan himself even mentions that. He says there was once this kingdom here of Nightsisters. Or he doesn't say Nightsisters, but there's once a kingdom here. And now it's a wasteland. So whatever happened to those people there, yeah, we'll see. Started early. Yeah, we started early today. I do have something going on later on in the evening, so we did have to start early today. Sorry about that, chat, but yeah, just had to do it. Okay. So who killed the Peridia Nightsisters? I'm assuming Abaloth or whatever this glimmer of light on the mountaintop is that Baylan Skoll is looking for. And are they in some sort of hibernation? I think they're all dead. I think they are all dead, and they're being brought back to life when they get back. But we shall see. We shall see. Okay. Let's move on here a little bit because we haven't talked about anything else yet today. So first things first, let's start with the Tom Hardy situation because we can go through it pretty quickly. Let me actually put up a poll here. Wow, this poll is very close. 55% to 45%. 55% of you guys do think that Cal Kestis will appear in something this year, so we'll see about that. Do you want Tom Hardy in Star Wars? Do you want Tom Hardy in Star Wars, yes or no? You tell me. And while you do, can I get some good cups follow orders in the chat, please? Bum, bum. Max Revo says, us Discord lurkers knew about the early time start. Join today. Yeah, if you guys are not yet in the Discord, there's a link in the description below to the Discord. The people who love Star Wars, go join it immediately. The LA Times says that Disney is expecting to announce a new CEO next month. Next month? Holy, that would be crazy. Where are you seeing that? Let's see. Let's see if it pops up when I refresh my page over here. Oh, yeah. Wow. Take a look at this. LATimes.com is saying that Disney's expected to name Bob Iger's successor next month. 2026 is going quickly here, ladies and gentlemen. That's crazy. Okay, so Lucasfilm gets a new president in the first month of the year, and in the second month of the year, we could be getting a new CEO of Disney. That's wild. The third month of the year, they'll announce the hunt for Ben Solo. That's pretty crazy. All right. Let's talk about Tom Hardy for a second here. So Tom Hardy, if you don't know who Tom Hardy is, let me show you a picture of him. Tom Hardy, this handsome fellow right here, probably most known for his roles in Mad Max. He's Bane in The Dark Knight Rises, the Christian Bale Batman movie. He is Venom, of course, in the Venom movies. He's in Peaky Blinders. His character in that's incredible. Can't think of his name, but it's awesome. What else is he in? He's in a lot of stuff. We'll put it that way. He's in a lot of stuff. He is in a deleted scene for Star Wars. He's a stormtrooper for the First Order in The Last Jedi, and that scene was deleted. However, he is talking about wanting to come to Star Wars. Yeah, Venom, I guess, is where most people would know him from, I suppose. He's talking about wanting to come to Star Wars. Now, right now, 60+% of you guys do say yes, you would want to see him. So here's what he had to say. Tom Hardy isn't sure how possible more Mad Max is and would love to have a proper Star Wars role because he was once a stormtrooper. So let's scroll to the good part here. So here's what he had to do. Of course, Hardy famously had a small cameo in The Last Jedi that didn't make it theatrical cut, but resurfaced as a deleted scene. So he's technically not even in Star Wars because the scene was deleted. In it, Hardy is incognito as a stormtrooper who interacts with John Boyega's Finn character, but that was enough to scratch his itch from the was enough. Sorry, but was that enough? Jesus, to scratch the itch from the galaxy far, far away. Here's what he had to say: "I love Star Wars. My favorite character is Han Solo. No, I'd be well up for doing more Star Wars." Is what, of course, he had to say. That was great. I always wanted to be in a Star Wars film. He noticed, so playing a stormtrooper was fantastic. So, talking about that. To me, he could play literally anybody and anyone in Star Wars. He could be a smuggler. He could be a bounty hunter. He could be a Jedi. He could be a Sith. He could play anything. Like his Bane performance, he could play some sort of Sith with a breathing apparatus, like I guess Vader does, but any number of Old Republic Sith. He could be anybody in anything. It could be post-sequels. It could be Dawn of the Jedi. It could be Old Republic. It could be anywhere in the Mandoverse. Anywhere. That's how good an actor he is. So when I hear Tom Hardy wants to come to Star Wars, when I hear this guy right here wants to be in Star Wars, 1,000,000% I'm in. He could play Agent Kallus. He would make a great Agent Kallus. That would be awesome. He should play Darth Bane. Now that's a big role. That's a big role. I'd be down for it, but I don't know how soon we'll be getting Darth Bane. Might be a while. Who would I cast him as? For a legacy character? That's tough. That is tough. How old is he? I know he's been the superhero before. He's done that stuff. Like he's gotten in shape. He's been really ripped for Bane. But how old is he? Let's see. Tom Hardy, age. So he's 48. So he'd be in like his 50s by the time he joined Star Wars. 50-year-olds have done the superhero thing or like get the bulk up thing. I'm just thinking like, could he be this yoked Sith Lord like a Darth Krayt or a Darth Bane? I guess he could. He would work very well as a Han Solo type smuggler character. If you guys have seen Peaky Blinders, you'll know what I mean. His character in that is very Han Solo-esque. Yeah. I don't know. I would love to have him in Star Wars. There's not many actors in Hollywood that I'd be like, yes, put him in Star Wars immediately. And Tom Hardy is one of those guys. So, absolutely. And the fact that he's a Star Wars fan makes it all that much more intriguing to me. So, there's that. All right, moving on. Let's talk about the Ahsoka leaks, specifically the logo. So, this logo apparently was shown to the people at Star Wars Celebration in 2025. It was at the end of the sizzle reel that they got that was showing all the different concept art images that we've been looking at for the last 8 months or whatever it's been, that we've been getting hyped up about. So this is the new logo. Now that it might be white. I think they made it gold just to make it look a little different. It might be white, but either way, it is still new and very, very World Between Worlds-esque. I mean, the first one was absolutely like it was World Between Worlds-esque, and we got the World Between Worlds. I don't think we'll be getting the World Between Worlds in this second season. I don't think we will. But maybe we do. Maybe we do. Tell me in the chat, do you think we will be re-entering the World Between Worlds in Season 2? We've only ever entered the World Between Worlds twice. It's not something that's very easy to access. Interesting. I'm seeing a bunch of yeses in the chat. Why? Why would they go to the World Between Worlds? The only two times we've gone is when Ezra enters through the temple on Lothal, and Ahsoka gets pulled in. Well, Ahsoka gets pulled in twice, but in Season 1, she gets pulled in by Anakin, saving her life. Now, I don't really see a reason why we would enter that place again in Season 2. I actually like the idea that Season 2 is more so, or the World Between Worlds is more so a place that we don't enter often. It says, in comparison to the Season 1 logo, this one is more, bodies seems more aligned. Hang on, let's put the Season 1 logo next to this. Ahsoka, Ahsoka Season 1 logo. Oh, you are absolutely right. Okay, so this is the Ahsoka Season 1 logo. Zoom in on that. So this one is very World Between Worlds-esque with the writing here, but very star map-y because of the star map being such an important piece to the first season. Now, when you look at this one, it doesn't have the writing that the first season did. Like this writing on the side, which was very World Between Worlds-esque, because that writing was on top of the portals and all that. But it does have these connecting circle-y looking things. Again, very map-like. I don't know. I don't really know what we're looking at here. This was clearly supposed to be teasing towards the fact that we're going to the World Between Worlds in Season 1, and we're going to a different galaxy. I don't know what this is trying to tell me. I really don't. It looks like a solar system to me, with all these different planets and different lines, and I guess they're connecting to each other. The circle inside the circle like that makes me think World Between Worlds. I don't know. I think it's trying to tell us something, but I don't know what it is. Crop circles. Aliens confirmed. We need a Sabine to interpret this exactly. It looks like a holo projector. Oh, I kind of get what you're saying there. Yeah, I guess. Portals. It is more circular. Like you got one circle, then another one, then another one encapsulating it. In this one, you don't really have that. Just the one big circle on the outside. Huh. I don't know. It could be some sort of doorway. And what I mean by that is, like, in the concept art for Ahsoka, we've seen this big doorway that Ahsoka is standing in front of. This was one of the pieces that Dave Filoni showed to us at Star Wars Celebration. Let me see if I can find it real quick. But Ahsoka's standing in front of this door. And that door has similar carvings on it. So this logo could be teasing towards the Mortis gods, teasing towards Abaloth, teasing towards that whole thing on Peridia. Let me see if I can find this really quickly. Where the hell is it? Huh. Well, I do find this. You guys tell me in the chat what you think this new logo is trying to tell us here. What the heck? Where is this picture? I gotta make a folder for my Ahsoka Season 2 leaked images. That's what I gotta do. Oh, wait. Nope, never mind. That's not it. Oh, nope. Nope, that's not it either. I thought it would be with these, no? Hang on. We're getting close. We're getting closer. Where is the one with Ahsoka and like the little minifigure of her standing in front of the door? Huh. I cannot seem to find it. Where the hell is this thing? I'm way too far back now. There's no way it's this far back. Unless. No, it's not looking like it. Oh, wait, what's this? What is that? Oh, wait. Oh, I found it. I found it. Okay. So this image right here. Oh, this is it. Thank God I found this. This is spot on right here. This is the door, or the concept art image for the door. This was shown at Star Wars Celebration. This is clearly a minifigure of Ahsoka, a minifigure of the ship there, and this huge door on the snowy mountaintop. That looks exactly like this logo. The circles inside the circles and all that's greatness. This is what we're looking for. This is what we've been looking for. The Lothwolves knew the way, so maybe the Howlers know the way this time? I don't know about that. That'd be a little too on the nose, I think. That'd be a little bit too on the nose. So it is kind of interesting because you have both logos from both seasons meaning something towards the actual content. This being the star map that they find to Peridia and the World Between Worlds stuff, the writing on the side, and this one being very close to what could be this prison or temple or whatever this is on top of the mountain that they're looking for. All these little puzzle pieces, like, you know how there's like a puzzle piece that's like 100 pieces and then 1,000 pieces, and you're like, oh my God, the Ahsoka Season 2 leaks are like a puzzle that's 1 trillion pieces, and we're trying to put it all together, but it just, it's hard to accomplish. It's hard to accomplish. A lot going on in the second season of Ahsoka. We were talking about Cal Kestis possibly being involved and all that other greatness. Yeah. But this door is clearly very, very similar to the logo for Season 2. Coincidence? I think not. Yeah. There's so much mystery in this season. I can't wait to find out where it's going. So was Season 1. I mean, we're talking about this orb that they found that was a map, and then the map going to there and all that other stuff. There's a ton of mystery when it comes to Ahsoka Season 2. That's why people just underestimate the series so much. People don't even realize how important it is. Introducing new galaxies and learning about the Nightsisters and even this, the Great Mothers and all this. This was from the Blu-ray behind the scenes of Season 1, where they're talking about these orbs. Remember the 3 orbs that the Nightsisters were using with like the laser beams that they trap Sabine in when they first arrive on Peridia? Those orbs are said to be before the Jedi time. It's early magic. So it's a reminder that in the Ahsoka series, the Great Mother's orbs are before the Jedi, over 25,000 years in the distant past. And Filoni says this: they live in largely the dead galaxy, the dead planet, where war wiped out everything. Think about that for a second. Peridia is a wasteland. Baylan Skoll talks about it once being a kingdom. A war that wiped it out. We could be getting flashbacks to Peridia, where this so-called war that inevitably killed all the Nightsisters. It could be Abaloth versus an entire kingdom of a civilization, and she wins. And that could be why the Mortis gods had to step in and put her in a prison. That would be absolutely insane. He also describes Peridia and the Peridia galaxy as a dead galaxy. Dead galaxy, dead planet. The ring around the planet itself is corpses of Purgle. The leaks for this show just get crazier and crazier. It's wild. So you're talking about a species that's been around longer than the Jedi themselves, living in a dead galaxy that's only dead because of a war that wiped them out, which could be against the being that Baylan Skoll is trying to free. That's insane. Yeah, he's talking about it like a power that will end the cycle of good versus evil. More powerful than Palpatine, more powerful than a Death Star, more powerful than anything. A being that was able to turn a galaxy into dust. Not actually, but you know what I mean. To kill an entire galaxy, to kill an entire planet, a civilization, a kingdom of Nightsisters, to just extinguish the flame like that. Sounds very Thanos-esque, if you ask me. But I don't think any Infinity Stones will be involved in the process. Yeah. How old are the Great Mothers? I don't know if we know that. I don't know. I don't think they're like thousands and thousands of years old, but I'm sure they're pretty old. Yeah. So yet again, the Ahsoka season 2 leaks continue to get crazier as we talk about possibly seeing flashbacks to a war on Peridia that wiped out everything. If we just get to see Abaloth go like 1 on 1 million and just destroy an entire civilization, that would be insane. Getting to see her power in full force, getting to see her in her abilities to just wipe out an entire planet like it's nothing. That is something that we've never seen in Star Wars. Actually, I take that back, the Death Star. But an entire space station that was built over the course of 19 years is able to blow up a planet of Alderaan. Right? That planet had millions of workers, probably trillions of dollars invested into it, and took 19 years. This is a being, a physical entity, a living being of Abaloth that could have the capability of doing something of this sort. She's not destroying the planet itself, but she's still killing everybody. So yeah, there's that. Okay, but moving on slightly. Oh, this is a behind-the-scenes image from Ahsoka Season 1. Just thought I'd share this one. Ahsoka with a Loth cat. Pretty awesome. Gotta love that. Getting some more Loth cats and Loth kittens. What were they called again? In Season 2. So that'll be cool. That'll be cool. This was cool, too. A little bit of side note. Daniel Logan, who played Boba Fett in Attack of the Clones. And Jake Lloyd, who, of course, is Anakin and Skywalker himself, young Annie. In season 1, in the first movie, The Phantom Menace, of the prequel trilogy, got lunch together, seemingly. There you have it. Love that. Jake Lloyd, of course, got a ton of crap for his performance as Anakin Skywalker in the prequels, and obviously that's just horrible. What kind of person are you if you're crapping on a child for his performance in a movie, which, by the way, was a great performance? Like, what are we even talking about here? But it ended up with him not really being in front of the camera anymore and all that. So it's great to see him. It's great to see him doing well and hanging out with young Boba Fett as well. Love to see it. So there you have that. There was something else I wanted to get to, too. Oh, this one was kind of cool. So the latest and greatest Game of Thrones spinoff came out the other day, called A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. And one of the characters in it is this guy right here. And he's played by the actor Daniel Ings. And that name may sound familiar to you because he will be in Star Wars Starfighter. So yet again, another actor, having a big year. And we'll have another big year next year because he'll be in Star Wars Starfighter. Now, we don't know much about his character in the movie. We know a little bit about, I guess, Ryan Gosling's character and Flynn Gray's character and Amy Adams' character. And even Mia Goth and Matt Smith, they're playing villains. We don't know about Daniel, so only time will tell. But there you have that. And a little bit of Daisy Ridley training, possibly for the Rey movie. Her training at the gym, possibly to become Rey yet again. And it would make sense because the latest and greatest we heard was that they were going to start filming the Rey movie in April of this year. So if she's training now, that would be just in time to be ready for filming. So we shall see that. What else? We got to that. The Ryan Johnson. Okay. Ryan Johnson. Let's talk about this. Ryan Johnson, when Kathleen Kennedy gave all of her updates in her exit interview on Saturday or Friday of last week, she talked about Ryan Johnson and the backlash that he received for The Last Jedi. And she said that it was sort of that he got spooked, and that's why he didn't make a trilogy. Because, well, for 1,000,001 different reasons, but he would have got absolutely shit on, and so would the trilogy. It would have been an Acolyte situation all over again, where it would have come in with a 13% on Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah. So let's take a look at this. Ryan Johnson says he is not spooked by toxic Star Wars fans after Kathleen Kennedy cited Last Jedi backlash is why he never got to direct another entry. Now tell me in the chat, do you want Ryan Johnson to direct a Star Wars project again? Yes or no? I know a lot of people really love The Last Jedi. I know a lot of people really hate The Last Jedi. It's a very, very, divisive topic. However, when you look at the other things that Ryan Johnson has done, you look at the other director credits that he has accomplished in his career, specifically the Knives Out trilogy, because that, I guess, is it a trilogy now? Or is it 4 movies? I don't even know anymore. Either way, the idea that Ryan Johnson could work on something unconnected to legacy characters, I would be down for. Of course, we know what happens when he does the regular ones. So here was his response. Kathleen Kennedy said he was spooked by the online negativity, and his response on Twitter was LOL, 0 spooked. Sorry. So a little strange, but he was not spooked, so to speak. Yeah. And the chat seems to say no. A lot of no's in the chat. A lot of no's. Okay. Never mind then. No Ryan Johnson. No Ryan Johnson. All right. I do have what we all love to do here, and that is the ranking lists. This is pretty great. It's coming from comicbook.com. It's every Star Wars movie and TV show under Kathleen Kennedy's reign ranked. So the Kathleen Kennedy era of Star Wars, 14 or 13 and a half years of Kathleen Kennedy's reign, has come to an end. Now, comicbook.com ranks all of her projects. So I'll give you my top 3 right now. It's Mando, Rogue One, and Andor. Nope, sorry. Whoa. Rewind. It's in order. Rebels, Rogue One, and Mando. Ahsoka's only 1 season. I can't do it. It's only 1 season. I can't do it. But maybe if season 2's as good as I think it's going to be, then Ahsoka will take that spot. But for now, that's my top 3. So tell me your top 3 in the chat. And let's take a look at this list. At number 19, wow, 19 projects. 19 projects. The Rise of Skywalker. Rise of Skywalker being last is pretty depressing because it's supposed to be the final installment of the Skywalker saga and wrap this thing up all nicely. I think over time, The Rise of Skywalker is getting better for me. Not just in, like, watching it more, but filling in the plot holes, explaining how Palpatine returns. All of that stuff has gotten a lot better for me. The Shadow of the Sith book has explained the dagger in Ochi of Bastoon. Project Necromancer has been explored through Mando and Bad Batch and all this other stuff. So The Rise of Skywalker has gotten a lot better for me over the years. It would not be last. It would definitely not be last on my list. But continuing. Number 18 is Star Wars Resistance. Star Wars Resistance would definitely be lower than Rise for me. 100%. But I get it. Resistance, it's a whole lot of nothing. Like, it's not bad. It's just not anything. It's a very, very side story. Rebels is a side story, but those characters are like main characters to me now. And they involve Leia, Lando, Vader, the Emperor, Yoda, Thrawn. Like, all these main characters are involved. This, not so much. Kylo Ren makes like a 2-second appearance. Hux makes like a 2-second appearance. And that's it. 17, The Book of Boba Fett. This is the most insane list already. Now, I don't know what I put Book of Boba Fett above, but it can't be third to last. You're talking about a show that not only explained Boba Fett's return through the Sarlacc pit, the Tusken Raiders, and all his family being killed after 5 years of growing up with the Tusken Raiders in the desert. I guess not growing up, but you know what I mean. And then giving us 2 peak of all peak episodes. From the Desert Comes a Stranger being one of the greatest episodes of all time. And the one before that, which I don't know his name, but the Din Djarin episode with the M1 Starfighter. Too low. Too low. Okay, continuing. Yeah. What are we talking about here? Young Jedi Adventures is above the Book of Boba Fett? Come on. Come on. Okay, continuing. 15, Solo. Too low. Too low. Too low, too low, too low. This movie is extremely underrated. I know it didn't perform well in the box office. Whatever. It's extremely underrated. Me and Samantha just watched it somewhat recently, so I have a very jogged memory about it. But Solo, too low. The Acolyte, also too low. Now, The Acolyte, very, very divisive, as a lot of the sequel trilogy movies were as well. I personally loved it. Some of the, if not the greatest lightsaber duels you've ever seen in Star Wars. It's up there with, it's below, but it's up there with Revenge of the Sith, with The Phantom Menace, with Attack of the Clones, which is where the best lightsaber duels come from. It's up there. So, and the story itself is really, really good. A Jedi who, because of where the Jedi eventually end up, makes mistakes and has to be covered up by another Jedi. And you have this whole former Jedi turns dark side, hidden in the shadows, kills a bunch of Jedi, and it has to get covered up to keep political face, so I suppose, for the Jedi Order. And that's what eventually leads to the downfall of the Jedi. Okay, continuing. Obi-Wan Kenobi. At 13, I think it's a little too low, but it's Kenobi's in the mix. It's in the mix. The finale is spectacular. It's so damn good. It should have been a movie. That's the end-all, be-all. It should have been a movie. So, the finale is spectacular, peak. Like, forever we'll be talking about that. When you think of the arc between Anakin and Obi-Wan, Master and Apprentice, the beginning is the prequel trilogy and all the quotable lines of, you turned her against me, you done that yourself, blah, 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 all that. Actually, it's right here on today's coffee mug. I have brought peace, freedom, justice, and security to my new empire. Your new empire. Don't make me kill you. Anakin, my allegiance is to the Republic, to democracy. If you're not with me, then you're my enemy. Only a Sith deals in absolutes. I will do what I must. You will try. Like, the quotability of that scene is on the exact same level as Anakin's gone. I am what remains. You did not kill Anakin Skywalker. I did. Like, that is now in the same vein as Revenge of the Sith. So, too low. Skeleton Crew, I'd put Skeleton Crew around here. 12. It's pretty good. It's the mid-level. It's underrated. It's a great story. But because it's no legacy connections, because it's not connected to much else, again, over time it might become more prevalent. There's no season 2. This is a good spot for it. Ahsoka, way too low. This is insane. 11? Wild. Now maybe with season 2 it'll get bumped up. That's crazy. Crazy. Okay. Number 10, Tales. I love Tales. It's not better than Ahsoka. Yeah, I guess it would be down there. A little too high, but probably around this level. Yeah. Okay. Continuing. Number 9, The Bad Batch. I like this. 9, pretty good spot for The Bad Batch. I like that. Season 3 being peak. Season 1 and 2 setting up that third season. I like it. Good spot. 8, The Force Awakens. That means The Last Jedi is higher than this, so I disagree. I like The Force Awakens quite a bit. I think it's the perfect start to the trilogy. It sets up all these characters for great arcs, and it just goes downhill from there. Okay, continuing. Visions. Way too high. I know some people are really high on Visions. If you're an anime fan, I'm sure you like it a lot more than I do. Not that I'm not an anime fan. I love Attack on Titan. I guess I haven't watched a lot of anime, but Attack on Titan, spectacular. However, not a fan. This would be probably towards the bottom of my list, if not the bottom of my list. Just not my thing. So way too high. Rebels, too low. Rebels is my number 1. And honestly, it might not be close. Season 1, yeah, it's filler. It's introducing you to a brand new cast of characters. But even in that season 1, I'm watching it right now. You got some incredible stuff with the Grand Inquisitor and Kanan and Ezra's relationship and all that. But from season 1 on, it's just straight peak the entire time. Way too low. Okay. Number 5, The Clone Wars Season 7. Valid. Siege of Mandalore being the greatest arc from the Clone Wars series. Even the Bad Batch arc to start the season's really, really good. The Martinez sister arc, it's a classic Clone Wars arc. It's filler beyond belief. It's not necessary, but it's fun. Like, it's not whatever. So, yeah. Absolutely agree. And number 4, The Last Jedi. I'd have The Last Jedi a lot lower. I'm still not a fan of the Luke Skywalker stuff. I'm hoping that in the future we get more explanation to it with Luke's Jedi Temple and seeing that rise and fall, all that great stuff. So, yeah, no, I don't agree with that. At number 3, The Mandalorian. Valid. Mando's in my top 3. You can't deny what the first season did for Star Wars, bringing so many fans back to the galaxy far, far away, introducing Grogu. There's a reason we're getting a Mando and Grogu movie. And the second season is just, speaks for itself. The third season, I think, is extremely underrated. There you go. Yeah, I agree. Rogue One, perfect. Number 2, love it. I'm trying to think what we haven't seen yet. Oh, Andor, it'll be number 1. Okay, but Rogue One, love it. Definitely up there, should be up there. It's my 3rd favorite Star Wars movie of all time. So, for sure, I'm down with it. And number 1 is Andor. Love it. I love Andor. Season 2 is amazing. Season 1 was great too. I wouldn't have it at number 1, but it would be in my top 4 or 5 easily. Absolutely. Pretty solid list for the most part. Pretty solid list. But as we go through this list, I'm like, peak. Not a fan, but whatever. Some people really like it. Peak. Not a fan. I like it. Peak. Some of it is peak. Some of it's not. Beyond peak. Really, really good. Solid. Finale is incredible. Really good. Underrated. Good. Have not seen it. Underrated. Really good couple episodes. It's what it is. It's whatever. And then it's growing on me over time. of the 19 projects that we just looked at right there, like, we have been living it up here as Star Wars fans. So much peak Star Wars in the last 13 years under the Kathleen Kennedy reign, and I hope it continues under the Dave Filoni reign. And only time will tell. 2026 is a good starting point for him with Maul, Shadow Lord, Mandalorian, and Grogu in Ahsoka Season 2. And hey, maybe in 2026 we'll be getting Jedi 3 as well, if it sticks to that 3-year and 5-month release in between games schedule. And if Cal Kestis is going to appear in Ahsoka Season 2. But with that being said, I do have to get on out of here. But I appreciate you guys so much more than you will ever know. It's insane to think about how great we have it as Star Wars fans. It truly is the greatest time to be a Star Wars fan ever. You can go back and watch the originals on Disney Plus right now, or the prequels, or anything you want. And we have so much to look forward to as Star Wars fans. Like, it's the best. It's the best. And I appreciate you guys so much. The fact that you take your time out of your day to watch a live stream is just beyond me. But if you want to keep the conversation going, go join the Discord, smash a freaking like on the stream, all that greatness. Yeah. And may the Force be with you. Always. What the heck? Hang on. Somebody broke my hyperspace. Chewie. Fixed it. Oh, yeah. What a great stream. What a great show. You guys are the absolute best. This was quite a fun one. This was quite a fun one. I really hope... Oh, what about Maul? Oh, hang on. One sec. Yeah, my fault. The Maul of it all. Turn the screen back on. Aha. Okay, the Maul of it all. Shit, where is it? It wasn't that crazy. We still don't have the trailer. We still don't have anything. This was just the image that we got for... Oh, hang on. Yeah. Okay. This is just the image that we got for a packaging of a toy for Maul Shadow Lord. You got the nice lightsaber. That's not the lightsaber we see in Solo. And you get the cool new animation design, which is pretty cool. I'm hoping as we get more news about Maul, because it feels like they're kind of ramping it up a little bit with the leaks and stuff, that we might be getting a trailer somewhat soon. The Mandalorian and Grogu trailer is coming out at the Super Bowl. Or we think it is, at least. So I'm assuming that the Maul Shadow Lord trailer, depending on when it releases, I mean, that's fully, we don't know yet, but hopefully soon. Hopefully soon. Can never get enough Maul. I saw something recently that was like, Maul's character is so dumb, like he got chopped in half and died after just one appearance. He barely has like any lines. I'm like, clearly you haven't watched the Clone Wars or Rebels, and you're missing out on all the greatness that is Darth Maul. But yeah, and may the Force be with you always. Oh, yeah. What a great stream. What a great show. You guys are the absolute best. I appreciate you all so much more than you will ever know. This was a fun one. This was a fun one. Hopefully, Cal Kestis is coming to live action, or at least his third game is coming out somewhat soon in the next couple of years. So, we shall see. We shall see. But until next time, hope you have a great rest of your evening, great rest of your lives. And good night, everybody.